I probably agree with everything this guy is going to criticize crypto on, or at least most of it. But I wish he would have opened with the sound critiques and not like the blatant fucking shitting on it. Wait, is that really fair? Is that really a fair critique? If I say something like, I want to challenge like the major financial, God, dude, I don't want to have to defend fucking crypto shitters. I think this borders into conspiracy. Oh God, this video is going to be so boring. Line goes up as a bad video. That's what I'm worried about. You guys are all saying it's a good video. I'm worried it's going to be a really bad video. As long as he stays away from the meme critiques. I mean, it's got 3 million views. As long as it's not dumb shit. Like, we're going to spend 30 minutes talking about how like NFTs have no underlying value. They're not real. Like, bro, come on. Nothing has fundamental underlying value in the universe. Even people don't. What are you talking about? As long as it's not like full of stupid shit like this.
Is this an anti-NFT thing?
Probably. Anytime anybody in the internet is talking about any of this shit, they're super anti. I don't know what's more annoying. Like NFTs and like crypto in general is like Elon Musk. Like I don't know what's more annoying, the fanboys or the haters. Hard to figure it out sometimes. Elon Musk haters are really fucking cringe.
You know, dude, Elon Musk is cringe.
He is ultra cringe.
He is like very, very cringe.
He's the Jordan Peterson of like cars and shit. He's like good at his thing that he did, and then he thinks he can do everything else. And it's...
So the speculators start dumping stock, which finally drives prices down, but because the original price was so inflated, the new price is still out of reach of most actual buyers. Legitimate buyers caught in the middle find their rates jumping too, but because the price of the house is going down as speculators try and dump their stock, the price of the house goes down relative to the mortgage issue, and thus they can't refinance and are locked into paying the original terms. Unable to sell the house and unable to afford the monthly payment.
Fuck. I don't like the way that this is phrased. Maybe I don't care. I have autism. I don't care, dude. I'm not sure. Okay. The value of your house going down has zero impact on your ability to pay the mortgage. Like, yeah, you're not getting equity in the house, or you might even have negative equity. But like that idea that like because the value went down, they couldn't refinance. If refinancing is part of your home buying strategy, don't fucking buy a home. You could never afford it in the first place. Okay? That sentence doesn't make sense. Like, well, they couldn't afford their mortgage payments anymore because they no longer had the ability to refinance. Why the fuck do you need to refinance to afford your fucking mortgage? Also, if you're buying an ARM, you're getting an adjustable rate mortgage, and your goal is to like always have the teaser, you also could never afford it. But it does on your ability to refinance, which is what a lot of people are expecting to do because of teasers. Yeah, then you're dumb as fuck, Rage Pope. I'm sorry, but you're, no offense. I mean, like the average consumer, like the average worker is dumb. But if you're getting an adjustable rate mortgage with the dream of one day being able to like refinance, because once the teaser rate expires, you're not gonna be able to afford the monthly payment. You could never afford that. You were never affording that. You were never able to afford the home in the first place. You shouldn't have bought it. But I understand that there were incentives at the time that were misaligned with the banks and everything, but sorry, okay. Were you just upset that he's not blaming the people who bought the mortgage? It seems pretty accurate. It's just like, I feel like everybody, when it comes time to analyze the situation, can only play into their lens. The reality is everything he's saying is correct. There were bad, like the bank's incentives here were perverse. The credit rating agencies probably did fuck up when they were rating some of these bonds. This whole incentive structure was probably bad, but people also bought homes that they couldn't afford. Like consumers were dumb as fuck as well. Now, if you want to preface this by saying, and you know what, I probably would. I would say, you know what, I'm not going to blame consumers at all because I expect consumers to be literal brain dead monkey apes that respond so incredibly predictably to financial incentives that if I were to pay them enough money, they would sell me their fucking children's kidneys. Then sure, that's fine. That's probably true. But it just to not bring that up at all and to make it sound like, oh, the only people who did anything wrong, like it was just a bunch of poor homeowners, poor buyers. No, they were people looking to get rich quick, which was a lot of them, to get their first home that they couldn't rightfully afford, which was a lot of them, and they got caught in the middle of the bubble with their pants down, and they got fucked by the bubble pop as well. Now we can say that we expect the average consumer to be a dumb fuck, which is fine. Again, I'll do that. But to totally leave that out is a little like they had a lot. They stood to gain a lot as well from this whole fucking crisis, just as much as the banks and everybody else did. Maybe the banks and everything are leveraged to gain more, but still. Okay, anyway, continuing on.
The people largely responsible for it all knew that because they and their toxic products were so interwoven into the foundations of the economy, they could count on a bailout from the government because no matter how rotten they were very large trees.
I don't know if I believe that. If there were leaked documents or something showing otherwise, I might. But the idea that I think this borders into conspiracy. The idea that like they're having this conversation, and I'm sure there was probably some fucking movie where they said this, or they might even said in that one Big Short movie or whatever, which I still haven't watched. But the thing where like, okay, well we can just fuck everybody over and it's okay because we know we're gonna get a bailout at the end. What about Lehman Brothers? They didn't get a fucking bailout. Okay. The problem is that it was rational for most speculators to speculate. Just because there's a crash doesn't mean you shouldn't speculate. It just means you need to get out before the crash. Yes, that is true. And that's part of the issue with perverse incentives existing like this in this environment, is because my understanding is that if you were a good and responsible bank and you did your best to only loan out responsibly, you got fucked. fucked because nobody's going to you for a fucking mortgage when your rates and everything are more strict than the guy down the street. And now you have to make a decision as a business owner. Do I want my employees to get fucked? Do I want my shareholders to get fucked, or the owners of my business? Because now you have to compete with all the people that are issuing the bullshit loans. And if you don't do it, your customers are going to feel like you're fucking them over. Why are you giving me these rates and these terms when I can get like, I don't want a fucking conventional conforming mortgage when the people down the street are offering me these really sexy adjustable rate mortgages, these 15, 20, 30 year adjustable rates or whatever. Why the fuck would I take this stupid boring ass mortgage? Like, why won't you do anything, right? Your customers feel fucked, your employees get fucked as you lose business, your owners get fucked as you lose money. When you have these environments set up with all these perverse incentives, everybody is like kind of bought into having to act in the most irrational way possible. The way that's irrational in the long term is actually hyper rational in the short term. Yes. How did we fix that issue? Rach probably tell me if this went away or if this was, but I think it was the idea that like if you're selling like mortgage products to people, you can't be an investment bank at the same time. You have to pick what your role is going to be. You can't do both. So if you're going to sell mortgages, you can't sell mortgage-backed securities to like investment banks. You have to pick one role and you've got to do that one thing. Just as a heads up, I don't expect this guy to know this or care about this or whatever, okay? But the myth that we have to build affordable housing is just that, okay? That's a myth, okay? We can build all sorts of housing. Any housing is good. Upper middle class, whatever the fuck housing, all of it is good, okay? All housing is good. The idea that we can only build some types of housing is a bullshit meme. Why? Because there's a transfer effect that happens. If I go to some area and it's like, wow, these apartments are really unaffordable, well, what are we gonna do? Let's just build a fuck ton of luxury condos, right? Well, people are like, well, we need affordable housing, not luxury condos. Well, when you build all those really expensive condos, all the wealthy people will move into those, and then hopefully you free up some housing stock in like the middle or lower expense units or whatever. It's essentially what happens. Whether you build affordable housing or whether you build upper class housing, it doesn't matter because it is not an economics problem. It's not even a physics problem. It's just a math problem. Number of people that want houses is X. Number of housing units available is Y. You have to build more Y. It doesn't matter what the fuck you make. You just have to build something, whatever you do. So if building affordable housing is what you want to do, then fucking knock yourself out, go for it. If it makes you feel better, just build something. If it's between luxury condos or nothing, build the luxury condos. It'll help. Just build something, okay? Just get more units out there. Something. Isn't it less expensive to make higher price housing, therefore less can be made? No. Housing is one of the few things that the free market will solve for incredibly well. If you zone whatever the fuck you want to zone in a major city, somebody will step up to build there because there's always money to be made there. I don't know if I have exact data for this, but I don't know, Dan would know, but like I'm almost positive that I'm right intuitively. Housing, the cost of housing is not the housing. Nobody gives a fuck about like the actual housing. It's just it's the land. That's the most important part. So if you get zoned for something, somebody will come and build it because who the fuck cares like the cost of the whatever. The important thing is actually having land to build on. You can zone it for whatever the fuck you want just so that you can build high rises, apartments, houses. Like people will build there. It will happen. You don't need like incentives or any crazy shit to do it.
The entire subject sits at the intersection of two fields that are notoriously prone to hype-based obfuscation, computer tech and finance, and inherits a lot of bad habits from both, with a reputation for making things deliberately more difficult to understand, specifically to create the illusion that only they are smart enough to understand it. Mining and minting are both methods of making tokens, which are the base thing that blockchain...
Okay, finance is legitimately difficult to understand, and when we try to simplify the fuck out of it so that the average fucking normie can understand it, then they fuck themselves over. See GME and AMC, and see fucking no fee trading, no transaction cost trading, where everybody could be a trader and everybody could be a pro, blah blah blah. Okay, and it's the same thing with computer shit too. Like these things are relatively complicated for a reason, and it is difficult for a reason. Not because they're just trying to keep people out, but because there's a lot of things to consider when you're acting in any of these fields. Destiny, is he saying the opposite? He's saying that like these fields are prone to people making them sound harder than they actually are, just to like, I don't know, be like gatekeeper or whatever. That was the impression that I got. You can say I had the wrong impression, but if we go back and listen to it and I got the right impression, I'm banning you for making me go back.
He likes to paint himself as an outsider underdog fighting the gatekeepers, but he also sits on the boards of Coinbase, a large cryptocurrency exchange that makes money by being the gatekeeper, collecting a fee on all entries and exits to the crypto economy.
Wait, is that really a fair? Is that really a fair critique? If I say something like I want to challenge like the major financial, God, dude, I don't want to have to defend fucking crypto shitters. If I say something like, hey, I'm going to be the vanguard, I want to defend people's right to move around currency as they want, not have to worry about the government doing anything, blah 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 blah, and it's like, oh, so you don't want the government and financial currency to be gatekept, but here you are charging fees in order to buy and sell crypto on a platform. Like, is that really a fair critique? Like, that seems silly to me, but okay.
Rather than being a reprieve to the people harmed by the housing bubble, the people whose savings and retirements were unknown to them being gambled on smoke, cryptocurrency instantly became the new playground for smoke vendors. This is a really important point to stress. Cryptocurrency does nothing to address 99% 90% of the problems with the banking industry, because those problems are patterns of human behavior, their incentives, their social structures.
I wish that he would have opened. I probably agree with everything this guy is going to criticize crypto on, or at least most of it. But I wish he would have opened with the sound critiques and not like the blatant fucking shitting on it. Because it sounds like this guy really hates crypto. It sounds like he's really mad about it. Like now it makes me like, I'll listen to any opinion. But if I wasn't an open-minded person, I would have already shut this video off. He just sounds like a massive fucking hater. Like he's got a rage boner against crypto.
More would always go to those with the resources to build the bigger rig. No matter what Bitcoin future was envisioned, in the here and now, computer hardware can be bought with dollars. Rather than dismantling corrupt power structures, this would just become a new tool for existing wealth.
We kind of ignore this, but it was the case. I don't know how old a lot of you guys are, but it was the case that way back in the day, people's delusions about crypto was that like it was going to be awesome because everybody could mine it in their homes. Like everybody was downloading miners. People were asking, what's the best GPU? Like for a while, I think people were buying, it was either AMD or NVIDIA. I don't remember which one, but it was like one, I think AMD cards were better at mining crypto than NVIDIA ones. Cause like, I think CUDA cores didn't work as well as like the stream processors or whatever on an AMD chip or something. It was something like that. And everybody was like, oh yeah, like we're buying the best cards and we're mining at home and this is so cool. And like, what's your electricity cost? Like if you live in the right state, it's better. Like that was like the obsession with that. And then that immediately, especially once these ASICs started coming out, basically specialized cards that let you solve just for Bitcoin problems, that went away almost immediately.
Bitcoin and proof of work cryptocurrency aren't incentivizing a move to green energy sources like solar and wind, they are offsetting it.
Wait, wouldn't they be valuing it? I feel like they would be moving towards, I feel like there's got to be some incentive. There must be some Bitcoin farmers somewhere that are trying to like fucking build like solar farms or some shit. That has to be the case. No? It's not more, assuming there aren't weird tax incentives or whatever, wouldn't there be people that would be trying to set up in places where energy is cheaper, and wouldn't it tend to be cheaper in places that have a lot of solar power or whatever?
No, the cheapest place is going to be hydro. Solar is just too unreliable. Now you do have people that are building mining operations kind of in Texas where there's a lot of wind power. They're really doing a lot of hedging. It's just, solar is just too unreliable. Same thing with wind power. It's just, you can get cheap stuff, but in general, you have to keep in mind right now with Ethereum and Bitcoin mining, let's say that you were to mine from your fucking house. You would be like, hey, it's not that great to mine from my house here, right? The power, but it's still profitable to do it. So you're going to have people doing it. You're going to just look for 24-hour cheapest cost, right? Does that make sense? So if you can set up somewhere where you get
but I feel like right now, I feel like the cheapest price I thought was solar. Now it might be the case that people aren't shopping around specifically because some states offer incentives or whatever for different energy plans, or they're subsidizing in some way. But I thought that the cheapest energy per kilowatt right now was solar, at least from an operational point of view. But I think that just changed recently, like over the last like 2 years, I think. So
yeah, I mean, I will tell you the one thing that people do a lot. Any big facility, what they do is for mining facilities, like almost all of them now, because they're scared of legislation, they all buy carbon credits to make them all renewable. So like any big mining facility now, like every single one is going to be green, which means that they take away more CO2 than they cause, because it's cheap to buy the credits. And why wouldn't you do that? Because then you can tell everyone, hey, listen, I'm good for the environment. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I know what you mean. Okay.
Point is that if you're a high roller with hundreds of millions of conceptual dollars tied up in cryptocurrency, there's a fundamental cash problem. Your holdings have inflated to tens, hundreds, or thousands of times what you put in, but that price is just theoretical. It's speculative. You have all this crypto, you can't meaningfully spend it, and there's not enough buyers for you to get it out.
How much, if you're talking about any large cryptocurrency, how much are you holding that you're going to move the market on your own, just exchanging your currency for USD? Like, what?
These factors, taken holistically, mean that cryptocurrency is a bigger fool's scam.
Isn't it describing literally every single commodity of finite scarcity or whatever in existence? Like, couldn't I take that same argument and apply it to gold or silver? Let's say that you own $100 million of gold. Well, now you have a huge problem. In order for you to trade that gold of theoretical value into real value, like USD, you're gonna have to find somebody else to buy into that gold. Like, this is every single commodity ever, or every single store of wealth, or every single, or the entire stock market. Like this is kind of a weird point, but okay.
The whole thing operates by buying worthless assets, believing that you will later be able to sell them to a bigger fool. The entire structure of
this is like describing the entire stock market. I'm not buying shares of Walmart because I hope that one day I'm going to own so many shares I can sit on the board. I'm buying shares of Walmart in the hopes that one day I can sell it to somebody else who wants to own shares of Walmart for more than what I bought it for. Yes for gold and silver, no for stocks. Stocks generate dividends and represent future cash flows. There is value outside of resale. First of all, not all stocks pay dividends. dividends. I'm pretty sure the hot popular thing to do right now is to not pay dividends, right? For a lot of tech stocks. So not all stocks necessarily pay dividends, and they represent future cash flows. So they kind of do in a way, but not necessarily. A stock doesn't necessarily represent anything. A stock is only bought and sold for what somebody else is willing to buy and sell it for. Like, you can't really say that, you can't really sit here and tell me with a straight face like, oh, Tesla has a valuation of like $55 trillion because that's representing future cash flows. No, it is a valuation because people think that in the future they're going to be able to sell those stocks for more than what they're paying now, plus whatever interest they want to be paid for holding the stock for X amount of time.
If you sell your crypto and make a profit in dollars, it's only because someone else bought it at a higher price than you did, and then they expect to do the same, and so on and so on.
This is every single scarce product ever. I feel like this is just a dog shit. It's true. What he's saying is true. It's just not necessarily bad. Like, this is just like all of gold and silver and anything like that is like represented by the same argument. Destiny, the price a person is willing to pay is funnily based on what they think the future cash flow will be. That is not true. It's like an infinitely recursive argument. What somebody is willing to pay is what they think somebody else might be willing to buy it for, which is what they think they will buy and sell it for, which is like infinitely down to like what future cash flows will be. There's like a ton of different information that's incorporated into the underlying price of a stock. There's so much information. The idea that it's literally just as simple as like, oh, well, it's just the fundamental value of the company. We just look at cash flows less, assets and liabilities. Like it would be cool if that's how stock prices were decided, but that's absolutely not the case, right? This might be like a baseline to start, but fundamentally, there's a difference between value and price. That's why I said price. That's why I said the price of a stock. It has so much information that plays into it. But there's a fundamental value underneath traditional stocks. Tesla is wildly divergent from a company. Sure, but like look at GME. That's another example. GME, the value of that stock, the true value, whatever you want to say value is significantly less, like 10% of what the price has been of that stock for what, almost a year it's been trading?
An infinite chain of greater fools who keep buying these assets at any irrational price and into the future forever.
It's also not irrational. That's not an irrational thing. If you buy Bitcoin expecting to sell it in the future because someone else will pay more for it than you did, that's not necessarily irrational. Like, fuck. Somebody linked me a super interesting article by, I don't know if this guy's a memer or not, but Matt Levine, he writes about financial stuff. I don't know if Rage Pope or Irk linked it in chat, but it was a really, really interesting article about how pharmaceutical companies might be incentivized to lose money because the structure of institutional investment portfolios is such that if you have a folder, if you've got a portfolio of like 1,000 different companies and one of those companies, a pharmaceutical, can lose a lot of money getting a vaccine out that will boost the earnings or boost the value of all of your other holdings, that institutional investors might be incentivized while holding pharma stock to encourage that pharma stock to like take losses in that business such that it hoists up the rest of their portfolio. It was a really interesting read. Do you think these sales, all of these are legitimate, like suckers looking for bigger suckers, or do you think that there's like some fraud going on here? Like, here's a question, okay? Let's say that me, Dan Mooten, and a couple other guys got together and I wanted to start selling artwork. Let's say that I create 10 art pieces and I mint them as NFTs. And let's say that I get my friends to buy like 8 of these for $14,000, $15,000 each. And now I've got that transaction history of like, this guy makes NFTs, he sells them for this much money, blah, blah, blah. Could I not have like NFT 9 and 10 and then just put that on the open market and get some random sucker to bid it up to like 15, 20,000 since he's seen them like,
Hello. The answer to your question is yes, you could do that, but you're missing.
This video sucks.
The big kitty cat fraud. The big kitty cat fraud is, man, I got all this fucking crypto and I got to show how I got it because I got it from kind of a lot of places aren't too. How can I do that? Oh my God, I'm a genius. I'll create a new NFT that I have and I'll sell it for $1 million. And then my other crypto account can buy that NFT. And now that NFT is worth $1 million, I get to say I've made $1 million. Here's how I made it. Great. Nope. Report that to the IRS. All good. Here's how I got it. And oh man, my other account now has an asset worth $1 million, but not really. So it might be able to sell that for $500K. You get it?
No.
You buy an NFT from yourself. What happens when you do that? If you mint the NFT?
I don't know. I don't understand.
Listen, this is not.
Wait, well, explain it to me. Why wouldn't I just withdraw that $1 million from a crypto exchange? Why would I need to buy an NFT for myself first?
I'm gonna have you forget about one part, and I'm just gonna do it one more time to even simplify it anymore. I want you to imagine, because you can have multiple crypto accounts. You understand this, right? And I say accounts, I mean like
wallets, yes.
Actual wallet. Okay. Mm-hmm. Let's say that you go create create your own NFT right now, okay? It's your, mowing down protesters clip. You're going to create it. And then you want this clip to be worth a lot of money. So what are you going to do? You're going to buy that clip yourself.
Oh, yeah, sure. I understand that part.
Okay? And now your main account, that $1 million that you spent with that may have been money that you've made selling drugs on the Silk Road, okay? And now you have a very legitimate way to say how you got that $1 million in tokens.
Wait, why does the federal government care how you came across like your crypto? Does it ask you that? What is the source of your crypto? I thought you would just sell that on an exchange and then it would be like, oh, this is like a commodity that I traded and boom.
You want plausible deniability? And absolutely yes, 100%. Okay, you do not want to have any okay, so where did you get your $1 million? Oh, well, I sold it on Coinbase. Okay, we need to see that. And then, you're not worried about the IRS in this case. You're worried about the FBI. You want plausible deniability, saying, hey, listen, I sold an NFT for $1 million. I don't know anything about the buyer. Do you understand?
No, but I guess
Come on,
I understand what you're saying. I don't think the record transaction is that, but maybe it is. So like Rage Pub is saying, does the government care if I got $5 million for killing people for the cartels? I don't think so. If somebody's writing you a 1099, the government sees it. But maybe if they audit you or something,
not
maybe
the IRS, the people who are in charge of finding people who do murder for hire and sell drugs.
Oh yeah, okay, yeah. There might be some like esoteric branch of the government that researches like financial crimes like that, and then for them, yeah, it would be nice, I guess, to say that you got this. But this is such a ridiculously like naive or childish way of doing fraud. It feels like it would be caught immediately. Like, how did you make your money? The agent shows up at your house, and Dan is like, oh, well, let me tell you, I have a picture of a monkey, and I sold that for $5 million. I feel like the guy would be like, really? $5 million? Find me the buyer. I want to talk to that person. And you'd be like, oh shit, I'm fuck, and you're the FBI breaking your house.
No, first off, you're not, because that's the way it works, and they have to prove this is not, they have to prove it beyond a reasonable doubt. They can't just be like, this seems suspicious.
Wait, no, stop, hold on.
Okay.
I don't know if you're making shit up or not. I don't think when it comes to financial crimes like that, I don't think
it's not a financial crime, dude.
To have money illegally?
Forget about the IRS. Forget about taxes. This is you who have made all of your money in crypto from nefarious means, from selling drugs on the Silk Road or fucking whatever.
Yes, okay, yeah.
Stealing a huge amount amount of crypto is from stolen crypto.
Sure.
And stolen shit like that.
Yeah, Mt. Gox, I remember. Still waiting for my money. Yeah.
Okay, so people care about finding the people who stole that or did those crimes.
Okay, when you say people, you're talking about like non-government entities.
No, I'm talking about government entities. The FBI or fucking NSA, or not the NSA, but you don't understand. People care about you selling drugs on the internet.
Okay, but like, isn't this loophole like
being
so
naive?
No, it just sounds so silly. Like you're watching like Law and Order SVU, and they're like, well, where's the rape victim? It's like, well, I bought an NFT. You're never gonna find them.
I must be doing a bad job to explain this. A tremendous amount of crypto's uses is two things: stealing profits from people, hacking into people's wallets and taking their money, and selling fucking drugs. It's one of the only two useful reasons for Bitcoin in crypto in general.
Sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, I want you to imagine that that's what you do, person. Let's say that you have
I basically scam people. That's what I do all day on stream. Yeah. People get banned after subbing, and
Okay, so let's say that you have $500,000 in crypto.
Yeah.
Pay attention. Stop fucking around.
Hey, I'm listening. $500,000 in crypto. Okay.
And you can't just send that $500,000 to your Coinbase account.
Okay.
That's fucking.
You have to send it to a buying an ape account, and then you send it to your crypto account, and now you've completely obfuscated your money, your cash flow.
Yes, you have.
Okay.
Giga Chad, yes. How do you not?
It just seems so simplistic.
Yeah, you don't get it. But I'm telling you to forget about all of that shit altogether. Can I give you a secondary thing? So that, by the way, that's a big thing right there. Okay.
Okay.
But that's not the biggest thing. The biggest thing is how do you double up in real life?
Kill your wife. Now you have 2x the assets, only one times half the owner.
If you create an NFT, you personally create an NFT, okay, or you have a friend who is an artist and create 10 NFTs, and you buy 7 of them for real money on the Ethereum chain. You spend a lot of money, okay? Like you said, there's someone else who can sell those 3. But here's the thing that you're forgetting: that those 7 that you bought actually have value now by virtue of you purchasing them. It's
but if somebody was researching, they're going to know, where did you get the money to buy them?
What do you mean? Oh, sorry, I'm not.
Let's say that the IRS, everybody goes to. Let's say everybody.
The IRS does not care about any of this. IRS cares.
Okay, no, but let's say somebody looks at you. You're like a random broke person. You're just a random working broke dude.
Yep, sure.
And all of a sudden, you have an NFT worth $500,000, and then you sell it.
Created it.
You create the NFT, then you buy it yourself with $500,000 of your own crypto, and then you sell it. It's like, look, I got $500,000 legitimately. People are like, how'd you get that money? It's like, oh, well, I sold this. It was worth $500,000. I sold it. Well, how did you get it in the first place?
What, you created it.
So you created it, and out of nowhere, it's just worth $500,000?
Yeah, the crypto market is irrational. They have to prove without a doubt that what you're
Wait, why do you keep saying prove without a doubt?
Or beyond a reasonable doubt.
That's not true.
Of course it's true.
I'm almost positive that's not the case.
That that is literally the fucking standard of
you've
guilt
got
in the
like
United States.
no, but I don't think there's different types of law. That's not like if I have like $10 million in my bank account and the government asks me how I got that money in there, I can't just say like, huh, well, if you can't prove I got it from an illegitimate source, you're fucked. I'm pretty sure you still get fucked there.
No, there's only one agency where that's not the case. Do you know what that is? Where you have to be on the offensive? It's the SEC when you're dealing with stocks.
Okay, so right now, if I go murder somebody and there's no evidence and I get paid $1 million to do it, I put $1 million in my account and the government asks me, where did that money come from? And I go, fuck you, find it.
Take me through the steps.
Okay, some guy gives me $1 million in cash and he's like, I need
cash.
you. Yeah.
What does cash have to do about it?
You just told me to walk you through it step by step.
Okay, so if someone pays you $1 million in cash.
Someone pays me $1 million in cash, yeah, USD, to go kill somebody. And then I go kill somebody. And then I go deposit that money in my bank account. And then the IRS comes to me and they're like, or the government, whoever gets tipped off from $10,000 plus transactions, they're like, hey, where did that money come from? I don't think you can just respond, well, I'm going to say this. If you can't find where it came from as being an illegitimate source, then go fuck yourself. You can't do anything, right? Like you'll pay tax on it and you're done.
Yes, you can. You're wrong.
Okay.
The IRS cares that you report income, okay? That is what it cares. In fact, there's even memes about people not reporting income. Even you look on your fucking tax return form, there's a section in there saying that you fucking sold drugs.
Yeah, there is a section. There is a line item on your yeah, that's true.
Okay, so that is not, the IRS cares about one thing, you paying taxes when you've made money. But that's not who we're worried about here. What we're worried about here is hiding that you got paid this money for how you really got it. You understand?
Okay. What if they see that you did the NFT shit and that you become so synonymous with fraud that they just investigate you anyway?
Being investigated is something that you can't legislate or think about away. I could sue you tomorrow.
Well, if being investigated is something that matters, then why the fuck do you even go through all this work anyway? Isn't it just to ward off an investigation?
It's not about being investigated or being sued. It's about, will you prevail if anything happens? Okay, like let's say that you had $1 million in crypto in your account and I hacked into your account and I stole it all, me personally, and I have it now. I would be stupid if I took all that coins and I just sent it to my Coinbase account and took it out in cash. Why? Because very easily you can subpoena Coinbase and say, hey, that transaction, those are my coins. Who is this user?
Why not just send it through like a fucking Tumblr first or something? Okay, cool.
Hold on. Okay, so you want to have this beyond a reasonable doubt. You want,
but like this is what I'm probably all the ledgers.
You do a Tumblr, by the way. You do Tumblrs in lieu of this as well. But you're trying to not only just have your coins.
Sure, but I'm just saying it's like somebody like looks at the wallet and they're like, oh shit, it didn't go straight to person A. First, it went to buy a newly minted NFT that was owned by person A. Huh?
No,
what
it
happened
wasn't owned
here?
by person A. You don't know who it was owned by. There's no way for them to prove, that this was the case. They can speculate.
Oh wait, so this is all anonymous. You don't know who owns it?
No.
Wait, in that case, why not just make another random anonymous like crypto wallet that nobody knows about?
Because then it doesn't show that there was any asset change. It's just you gave money to someone else.
How is that not an asset change?
This is something when you just send money to another crypto account, you didn't receive anything at all. You didn't think that would view as a gift for you?
No, how do you know if somebody got something or not? Like if you're buying drugs on the Silk Road, you don't know if anybody got anything for the crypto.
So if it came down to that then you're getting you're doing a criminal case. They're going to say, so Mr. Saltman, why did you receive $1 million? I can't say I was buying a fucking NFT or anything on those lines or selling an NFT. I have to say, oh, I sold something, but I can't tell you what it was if it got to that point. This is a reasonable thing that you could say, hey, I sold this for money and that's what I did. It shouldn't be like, I don't know why it's this crazy.
I understand now. Okay, I understand.
You don't understand. You're saying you understand. But forget that whole.
I'm just imagining the conversation where the guy was like, well, no, I didn't steal the money from that guy that's missing $1 million and I coincidentally have $1 million. I actually sold a picture of a monkey to some stranger online and now the money's in my account and you can't do anything about it.
So this is a very simplistic way that we're doing it.
Yeah.
Okay. Very simplistic way that we're doing it. And I'm trying to make it simple for you. But to obfuscate it, what do? You don't just buy one thing. You have
have like 30 monkey pictures. I understand. Okay.
Yeah, but some of them are actually bought by legitimate investors because they see other people buying them up. You're a prolific seller and buyer of NFTs. Yeah, at that point it becomes a lot harder to determine what's fraud and what's not fraud. It seems like it'd just be
easier to earn the money legitimately. I'm sorry. I understand what you're saying. I understand.
I feel like you don't understand and it makes me sad.
No, I understand. You're just like, you're like 72 years old cashing out the final monkey picture. And you're like, I finally did it. I finally got my illegal cash.
The monkeys are a tool that you use, okay? They are a tool for you, okay? The monkeys have value, but they have value because you made them have value. You memed them into existence. Do you understand?
It's like Breaking Bad, except seasons 4 and 5 are Walt like actually being a gas station owner, and he's trying to go to war with like the fellow like fuel salesman across the street. I'm sorry, I know, I understand what you're saying. Okay, I get it.
But this is a large amount of it. Of like, there's a few that aren't that case. Like the people who sell the quote unquote apes, right? Those are like that one's pretty standard. But everything else that's not that is very suspect. Okay, it's very suspect, and you have to keep in mind.
Get out of my head. Sorry, go ahead.
Aside from I'm trying to hide where I got my illicit gains. Okay, and I think that's important to know that is a huge problem. If you deal with selling drugs, or if you deal with stealing Bitcoin from people, like maybe I put a fucking virus on your computer, or I put a virus on your computer until you pay me 10 Bitcoins, I'm not going to unlock it. That's a very big part of the cryptocurrency economy. Okay, and you need a way to not only reliably cash that out, but to do it so that if it ever somehow did get traced back to you, like that Tumblr you're using had a backdoor in it or something along those lines, that you now have an extra layer of plausibility because you're a prolific buyer and seller of NFTs on a market. So there's that, but more importantly than that, you have the ability as a seller and creator of NFTs is I can go and I can create a series of 100 whatever NFTs, and if I'm able to sell 90 of them for $1 million, if I came up to you, Steven, and I said, hey, listen, I'm an NFT seller and I've sold 90 for $1 million, I got the remaining 10, how'd you like to buy one for 10 grand? Would you do it? The answer, well, fuck yeah, of course you could, and you'd be stupid not to. I would do that because I would turn around and sell that for 800,000 or whatever. So you've created money out of nothing.
Okay.
I don't like it when you speak to me like that. It means
I understand. No, I understand. I get it. I totally am on board with this. When are we doing it? I understand, Dan. I'm getting it, okay?
I feel like...
Chat, all of chat is getting it. They're all pogging you, okay? Put ones in chat if you understand what Dan is saying.
I don't need to be played.
No, they're going to say ones. There's going to be so many ones, Dan. Everybody gets it.
Oh, my God.
Everybody gets it, Dan. Look, they get it.
Okay. Great.